It's day 38 of the 1 year fast. This is week 6. And again, the framework, the protocol for the 1 year fast is for me to fast for 3 days per week for 52 consecutive weeks. And my weeks go from Sunday to Saturday. This week, week 6, I fasted on Monday, not fasting today. I'll fast again tomorrow, not fasting on Thursday, but we'll fast again on Friday. So my 3 days this week are all separated. So I can separate them, I can combine them. So last week I fasted for 72 hours, 3 days in a row. This week I'm breaking all the days apart. I have to say, I've noticed that on fasting days, I tend to have much more energy than I do on a non-fasting day. However, today, a non-fasting day, is probably the most energized I've felt since starting the 1 year fast. Went for a 2-mile run, felt really good, got a good pace. I'm not a great runner, but got a good pace. And then I still felt really energized. So went to the gym, got on the treadmill, did some hits. 2 minutes, around 3.5 to 4 miles per hour, steady pace, and then 30 minutes at 12 miles per hour. And I did that for 6 12 miles per hour. So I staggered 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, all the way along, got off the treadmill, still felt really energized. I haven't felt this energized in a long time. I then did some sledge, up and down, relatively heavy weights. Again, it's all relative, isn't it? For me, a heavy weight for many would probably be a lightweight. But for me, it was quite heavy, and I went up and down 20 times. Felt really good. And I have to say, still now I'm feeling I could go back and do more, or I could go for a run. So quite a curious day today. Not quite sure where the energy is coming from, but it's definitely there. Okay, so hopefully that's going to continue in that vein, and I'm going to see more and more energy as I go from week to week to week across the 52 weeks. I'm going to keep today relatively brief. I don't want to go into too much of a rabbit hole with just random conversation. Again, these videos are really here to create a record, to hopefully go back, post a 1 year fast, and take a look at any indicators around mental health, psychological health, emotional health, even spiritual health. Today I was just taking a look at peptides. We all know that GLP-1s are very prevalent for many people, will help many people with weight control, and it's fantastic. It really does a great service for many people. And I was just curious to understand, could there potentially be some type of synergy between fasting and peptides? We know that peptides they are an appetite suppressant. So therefore, could that help with fasting in terms of, if you've got hunger pains and you're on a fast, you might be tempted to break the fast. So could you potentially take a peptide to help alleviate and suppress those hunger pains? It seems there might be some level of synergy there. Of course, peptides are in that early research stage. I believe very few are FDA approved. And so therefore we need to, obviously, any evaluation take very carefully and probably wait for that official approval from the FDA. I have noticed online that if you try to purchase certain peptides, there's this disclaimer that comes up that alerts you to the fact that these are research products. And that does sound a little disconcerting. That said, it would be interesting that if in the future, again, this is all speculative, if there was a peptide, not just to help with preventing sarcopenia, but maybe even a peptide that could help with hypertrophy. So you could fast, you could take on all the benefits of autophagy, and at the same time, increase muscle mass. And And that would be really interesting if that was to come to fruition. So it is definitely an area that I want to keep up to date on. And I did add an additional web page to the oneyearfast.com website, just covering the topic of fasting and peptides. Of course, with all the caveats and all the disclaimers that we need to be very, very cautious when looking at peptides. But definitely a very interesting topic. Coming to the end of day 38 of the 1 year fast. Tomorrow I'm stepping into another 24-hour fast. So I may have one more protein drink this evening. And again, feeling super energized, feeling really upbeat, positive, no negative feelings or inclinations. So day 38 of the 1 year fast, for the record, a very good day. Thank you.